back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back, welcome back. Today we are receiving more news coming out from the market. A lot of stuff are coming out right now. The American people are very concerned whether or not the U.S. will enter recession. And as of right now, we are just receiving great data coming out from the market, but recession concerns are still at all-time high, and uncertainty is still number one problem here for investors and for the American people. Just recently, we have seen oil price just pull back from a month high as economic worry outweighed supply chain issue. Right now, the American people are more worried of an economic slowdown, which the Federal Reserve has issued that prepare for an economic pain. And we have seen the magnitude of such consequential prediction coming out from the Fed. And we have seen oil has been on a decline even now after those massive jump during the crisis, especially during the Ukraine and the Russian crisis. We have seen the price of oil has slowed down despite the being surge, but however, recession concern is still at all-time high here. October Brent crude oil, the global benchmark was around down $4.85 at $100 per barrel on ICE future in Europe, taking on a 4.1% Monday. The most actively traded November contract last $3.95, resembling around 3.8%, which we are seeing here. So right now, people are very concerned with an economic slowdown. Oil investors are worried about inflation weakening global economy. Analysis on the Stone Age Energy team in Kansas City wrote in Tuesday newsletter. Inflation is near double-digit near territory in many of the world's biggest economy, causing more aggressive interest rate hike that will likely curtail economic growth and weigh on fuel demand. So with slow economic growth, people are going to start pulling back from their investment within the market, and as a result, even though we ain't seeing less demand in the market, no one is now purchasing oil because they are being laid off. The institution filed for bankruptcy. So there are many financial consequential effects as a result of this economic turmoil and sentiment what the American people are now feeling. Let's go forward. So Carrefour CEO said inflation crisis have put consumer on alert. Right now, consumers are very cautious with what they are spending and what they are purchasing with their power on hand, which is the US dollar here. Cost-conscious French consumers are ditching fish, buying cheaper meat, and snubbing organic food to save money on their shopping, the head of Europe's largest food retailer said on Tuesday. So inflation has hit the American people. It has hit the global economy, affected many nationalities. And the regular people are just very, very concerned. Their inability to provide enough food to sustain across this recession concern. And a global economic slowdown is probably happening no sooner than later. So there's still a lot of metrics out there that we will continue to analyze as the problem become to progress and evolve over time here. Let's go forward. So we have our chart for today, our calendar. So what we are expecting, we have here about Cleveland. We have here about Richmond Fed President Tom Barkin speak this morning. S&P Case-Shiller U.S. Home Price Index this morning, which is around 18%. We have look at Consumer Confidence Index, which have rose and beat economic forecast. Hitting around 103 point. Job opening report more job opening than ever before. Economic forecast around 10.3 million job opening, but the actual exact number is around 11.2 million here. And nearly 4.2 million employee quit during the July time. So that's what we are seeing from this metric. So there's still more data coming out and more stuff for us to talk about. ADP data for August, that is very essential. Chicago manufacturing PMI to learn about the local economy. Are they actually moving? So initial jobless claim, a lot of stuff are coming out with the next following day and something for us to be pay attention on. So we have talked about U.S. consumer confidence rise more than expected in August. So right now, U.S. consumer confidence rebound more than expected in August after 3 straight months decline, with vacation intention rising to an 8-month high, a potential positive signal for consumer spending. So people are feeling that they are very confident with what Fed Powell has already been doing, very confident at how the overall of the U.S. economy, and we have seen that, and inflation are now easing from multiple data we have looked at across the board. And inflation at easing, especially gasoline price has been declined with this past couple weeks here. So that's what we're still seeing, but there's still a lot of uncertainty. But however, consumer confidence is still strong, remaining 3-month high. That is what we are seeing here. So they did climb above 145.4 point from 139.7 point in July. That is what we are seeing, around nearly a 6 point increase within a month. But this is just some great stuff we have to talk about. The metric are moving, market is moving up, and a lot of stuff are coming out. Job vacancy rose in July. We have talked about this. Economic forecast was around 10 million job opening, but the actual number was just around 11 million, 0.6 million job opening. So despite rise in interest rate. However, the U.S. economy is very strong here, despite those two metrics are coming out, and despite Fed Powell warning. So that's what we are seeing. The economy is very strong within the United States. So there were around 11.2 million job openings available on the last day of July. That is pretty great. Nearly 2 jobs on average for every unemployed person, up from 11 million in June. So the market is moving strong. So we are going to see the Federal Reserve will continue to hike another 75 basic point. So that's what we are expecting from the market. So don't be shocked if Fed Powell do another 75 basic point hike. So that's what we are seeing as of right now. Let's look forward, folks. So Steve Hanke just say, hey, despite all this great news that is being released from the market, however, we are still seeing a sense of an economic slowdown with the United States. And he is predicting that with high interest rate, the probability of the U.S. entering a recession will be in 2023. So those are very broad prediction from Steve Hanke. But however, recession concerns are still at all-time high, and the American people are very worried and conscious of what the U.S. economy is performing right now. So he said, hey, the U.S. economy is going to fall into a recession next year, according to Steve Hanke. He is a professor of applied economics at Johns Hopkins University. And that is not necessarily because of high interest rate. However, high interest rate do play a role in that recession concern. We will have a recession because we have had 5 months of zero M2 growth, money supply growth, and the Fed isn't even looking at it. And there's still a lot of bear sentiment within the market, despite all these good data being released by these economics. However, recession concerns are still at all-time high. Let's look at last but not least. Rich Dad, Poor Dad author Robert Kiyosaki say, hey, prepare for an economic crash. We are going to sense another 2008 recession, another form of that, very similar to that concept. So Robert Kiyosaki just say, hey, just prepare for a recession, and we might be heading to one. So don't be very shocked if we are entering one. And then I know what are my thoughts with the market as right now. The market as of right now is very uncertain. We have good data are being released. We have bad data are being released, raising that uncertainty level to the next upper level here without knowing whether or not the economy is headed in a bull or bear direction. And recession concerns are still mounting at all-time high, and the American people are still conscious on what they are spending, even though we are receiving all these great metrics are being released by the market. Recession concerns are still at all-time high. And I hope you enjoy watching my video. And if you do, please click on that subscribe button, and also don't forget to click on that like button. Thanks everyone. Have a nice day.